What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Rant. This is our 22nd episode, and this entire episode is going to, well, essentially be a lot of anger directed at Harmonix. So join us for the Shitting on Harmonix episode. Josh, you informed me that you have quite a lot of ammo to use against them, so why don't you start us off?
Locked and loaded.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me. What was that you kind of cut out there for me?
All I said was uh-oh. As in, Harmonix better buckle up. Please excuse my friend. He caught a cold at work.
Yes, I did. Anyways, where to begin? I guess I'll begin at the beginning. When the first Rock Band came out, I had been playing a lot of Guitar Hero, and I wanted something a little bit different. And Rock Band came out; it was different. You got the whole drum set, and not the whole drum set. I mean, a drum set. You got the microphone, you got the bass, you got the guitar. It was great. Me and my friends and family played it all the time. And the Rock Band 2 came out, and it was even better. It was so much better. The new campaign mode and the song selection, and you could transfer your songs from the first game to the second game. And then the third game came out, and no, it wasn't that great, but it was still cool because you could transfer all the songs over. There was tons of DLC. You could do a little bit more with your characters. There were some cool, fun trophies to get. And I downloaded over 500 songs from the downloadable content store, which equals to a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I also bought pretty much every single track pack and the Lego Rock Band game and all the Rock Band games that came out. I bought them because I loved Rock Band. Rock Band was my favorite thing ever. So, that being said, when I heard that Rock Band 4 was going to come out for the newer consoles, I was really excited. Like naturally, like I would be. Because Rock Band was one of those first games that it broke me out of the first-person shooter shell, because I had been playing a lot of those, like Modern Warfare 2 and Gears of War, which isn't a first-person, but this is a shooter. This was one of those first rhythm games that I kind of latched onto and, took flight in. And so Rock Band 4 is coming out, and everything that you hear coming up to it is kind of questionable. I mean, the graphics looked less than stellar. The song selection was pretty good. But there were some bands on there, I didn't know who they were at all. Like, you couldn't even look them up, and I was like, uh-oh. And so they didn't even list off the features for the game. They just said, we have new controllers and a new game, and they released it. And they released it, it was a week or 2 weeks before Guitar Hero Live came out, which was probably their best decision they ever made, because if this game had come out after Guitar Hero Live, I probably never would have played it. But here we go, because the day one, you pick up the game, and the guitar and the game combined is $150, and you can buy two guitars and one game for Guitar Hero Live for $160. So that was a huge ripoff right there. It's just starting off, but I could look past that. I loved Rock Band, so I put the game in, and inside the game box there's the code to download 30 free songs. And I was looking online the day before, and it said, oh yeah, you're going to get 30 new songs for the Xbox. And I was like, what's the PS4 getting? I bet it's going to be even 30 more new songs. So I go on there, I download the code, and what do you know, it's all songs that were released before on the older games and DLC. And here's the real kicker, they're all Harmonix bands that are formed within Harmonix to save a buck. So you get 30 songs that are complete shit. You got bands like Freeze Pop and Bang Camaro and Anarchy Club and all these bands that no one knows because they're not real bands. Harmonix is just saving $1. So as soon as I started the download of this and I saw all these really shitty songs being downloaded, I was like, oh my god. I thought we were getting all new songs. So I go on the store and, there's day one, 30 songs from Xbox that you can buy for $2 a pop. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because there was good songs on there. There was Earth, Wind, and Fire on there. There was Bullet for My Valentine and Bring Me the Horizon. All these great bands on there that I now would have to buy the songs for instead of getting them for free. So Harmonix really played the favorite game and apparently got a like some sort of contract with Xbox for more money because all the commercials and stuff like that were all for Xbox as well. And that's like the tip of the iceberg. And if you want to chime in at any time, just say, yo.
I have some very similar beefs with them. Like, first and foremost, one of my gripes was I hadn't played any of those types of games for a couple of years. I took a break on them, and then I snagged Rock Band 2's like big, band in a box thing, and it was brand new, and I couldn't use the song download code on that for like 6 months. Every time I typed it in, it would just glitch out and not do anything for me. And this wasn't a problem with the store. It was a problem with Rock Band servers never authenticating the damn thing. It took like 6 months for it to work. So that was an annoying point down the drain. For me also, there were a few weird technical tweaks that just seemed stupid to me. For instance, were you aware that you could not party chat with anybody in Rock Band 2? Were you aware of that? Like, you could chat, but their voice would come through your fucking TV speakers instead of your headset?
Yeah, they eventually fixed that later on.
Yeah, I don't care. I feel like that should have been something that worked right off the bat. Because, like, how many people are actually going to be singing when they play that game? Most of the people I played it with wanted to play, like, the drums or the guitar or something like that. Very few people wanted to sing, so I feel like making that kind of technical decision is just fucking stupid. And then, the same crap that pissed you off, Harmonix bringing out all of their damn bands to save buck, that fucking pisses me off too. Especially since that's pretty much all what's in the new Amplitude game is all Harmonix bands. And for me, the Amplitude game on the PS2 years ago was what actually got me into the music rhythm games. Like, all the ones that were out at that time before that were shit. I wouldn't want to fucking play Parappa the Rapper or that Space Channel 5 bullshit. They're not fun. But then, you got into Amplitude. There was good music on there. There were actually bands I hadn't heard of, and I got introduced to that way. It was fun. And then, hey, let's re-release Amplitude. We're just kidding. It's all our shit that we pulled out of the closet. Fuck you, Harmonix. Fuck you hard. Yeah, I don't approve of Harmonix's little business practices, we'll call them. Especially the bullshit about no online multiplayer for Rock Band 4. That was a deal breaker. I wasn't going to buy it if it didn't have that.
Oh yeah, I was waiting to get to that, but we can
I think that should be a forerunning statement, to be honest.
Well,
because who the fuck can actually get all of their friends together in their living room half the time to play?
Exactly, but I was kind of going through a timeline of my discoveries of these things.
Then we will get to that in like 10 minutes.
But that was next. I started up the game, and I'm like, oh, how do I invite Nick, who's my friend? And there was no way to invite him because there was no multiplayer. There's no online multiplayer, which really, really sucked. I mean, that was probably their worst decision ever. And fast forward a little bit to, last month, they finally announced, oh yeah, we're added it on in Holiday 2016. And I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to be a paid add-on. And also, they're going to probably re-release the game, like Rock Band 4 2.0 edition, with online multiplayer.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to get that. And I'm going to completely just forget about that.
Because that's an entire year goes by before that. That's bullshit.
And a lot of this stuff that they're adding through updates and stuff like that should have been things that were actually on the game when it first came out. When the game first came out, there were 3 things you could do. You could do play a show, which will throw you into a random music
set
selector.
list?
Yeah, you could vote on the songs you want from a list of like 4 songs for each set you do, which was it was kind of dumb, but I was like whatever. Then there was also the career mode, which wasn't really that much better. A lot of the same bullshit in there. And then there was the Harmonix store. And you had to try to connect to that at least 5 times before getting into it. And you still have to try and connect like 3 or 4 times before you're able to actually access the store. So that's amazing. And then they added in these new freestyle guitar solos and written out drum fills. The drum fills never matched the song. They never made sense with the song, and the freestyle guitar stuff it was just complete crap. I tried it in the tutorial and I turned it off. I was like, fuck that. That is the worst thing I have ever done. It lets you do what you want, right? But it's just the worst thing in the world. It is really terrible. I mean, you can go online and type in freestyle guitar solo Rock Band 4, and it'll be someone playing a song, and all of a sudden it will just the guitar will change tuning, and it will also change distortion and sound completely out of just ridiculously bad. I don't know who okayed that crap, but oh my god.
I think right now would be a great time to point out that you and I are both trained musicians. We actually know how this shit should work.
Yeah. Guitar, bass, drums, I got it all.
Ridiculous.
Oh boy. So let's move on to that song selection, because most of the songs in this game are fine. Then there's like 10 songs on the game, or maybe more like an 8 that are half most of them, actually all those are Harmonix bands, and then there's like one that I really despise. But there's these Harmonix band songs on there, and 2 of them are the hardest ones on the game. There's one called Dream Genie, which is just a complete shit fest of I don't even know how to describe it. 2 male goats having sex on while seasick on a ship. I don't know how to describe this fucking
That's
song.
That's a pretty horrifying just visual. I really wouldn't want to hear the audio accompanying that.
And then there's another one called Pistol Whipped, which is this girl band that they formed in one of the other rock bands, the first one I believe. And the song is just terrible. It's all just garbage. And it really brings down the experience when you're going through those vote set lists, and like 4 out of the 5 songs to choose from are all Harmonix bands, because there's some sort of algorithm inside this game that makes it so a Harmonix band pops up on the list at least once or twice every go. Because you can do load more songs, instead of choosing the ones you have in front of you. And I pressed that. I swear I sat there for 10 minutes pressing more options, and it would just keep loading the same Harmonix bands on there. And I was like, wow, I don't want to play these shitty songs. Please let me go. Oh, man.
So basically, I think we can chalk it up to just shitty fucking design philosophy on every angle you can come up with for this.
No, speaking of design, you know how you can make your character and they'll stand on the stage and they'll dance and do moves and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, one, none of these moves correlate with each other. So you could be crowd surfing 1 minute, and then the next second you're like by the drums playing your guitar. So no fucking like chill at all with this crap. And then also, I've had it happen tons of times where my character will just morph into his amplifier and he'll dance inside of his amplifier. Or the singer actually was halfway through the stage, and I was like, whoa, what kind of prop is this? Or the bassist his arms will morph and they won't be right. And I mean, and then the crowd is just really creepy. They all do the same thing at the same time. So it's like Nazi
cult style.
Yeah,
cult style rock band. Everybody
so
get their
weird.
Kool-Aid. Let's do this.
And then the graphics, there's the gameplay trailer for this shows these really, really, really shitty graphics, and the game looks like Rock Band 2, which is, I mean, the graphics were okay on that game for the time, but now we're in PS4, Xbox One era. I mean, you think that they would be a little bit better, and they are not. They definitely lack every sort of substance. Oh, man.
It definitely does kind of break the illusion when all the band members look like shit and, the audience kind of just looks like a creepy silhouette. It does break the illusion. And let's face it, it's fucking called Rock Band. That's all you've got is the illusion that you're playing in a rock band. If you destroy that, you're kind of destroying everything the game is supposed to be about right off the bat.
Well, here comes my next big point. It's called Rock Band. Yet last month they had a DLC pack of 4 Justin Bieber songs. There was a pack of 4 One Direction songs. There was a pack of Carrie Underwood songs. There was a pack of 5 separate pop songs that were popular on the charts. I mean, it just this
Didn't they fucking do that already?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't there like a fucking pop band or pop hero or something like 4 or 5 years ago? Why the hell would they put I fucking hate Justin Bieber.
I hate everything pop. And they just added on there. And you go on their Facebook page and there's people who are like, oh, yay, Justin Bieber. And I'm like,
$5 says they're 13-year-old girls.
Probably.
That's the only fan Justin Bieber can get is like a 13-year-old girl. He's fucking shit.
And gay men.
Well, I think that goes without saying.
And then let's see. Here's my final like knife in the back. You know, this Rock Band 4 is an unfinished, not working properly game, and they've been updating it since it's come out, and they've added so many new options that really should have been on there day one. I don't even use them. There's
single
a
song quick
mode.
Play.
Yeah,
it got added a week ago.
They're like, oh yeah, the new skins that correlate with the games that come out. Like they did a Battleborn skin pack, and I was like, are you serious? This game is still broken, and you're adding in packs of character outfits? Like
that doesn't even make
what's
sense.
Going on?
That's ridiculous.
They added brutal mode, which no one uses, which just speeds up the track and actually makes it disappear at times. It's like this is stupid. Why do I need this? They're also adding VR support. And you know what else they did? They were like, oh, you know what? Let's crowdfund a PC version of the game because everyone wants that. And it's like you're trying to crowdfund a PC version of the game and your main game doesn't fucking work. What are you trying to do here? Luckily, it didn't get funded. And now they're like, oh, well, I guess we'll add the multiplayer now, which is probably going to be like a 20 gig update. Or if you want to buy the new game for, $60 again. It's just shit after shit after shit with this game, and I am just so fed up with it.
You would almost think they were owned by EA with all the bad choices they make.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, at least we had Guitar Hero Live last year, which is a really great game. And I think the one reason that it became a great game is because Activision put it into the hands of an indie company called Freestyle Games. And they did what they wanted with it. They didn't really have a constraint. I think the only thing that Activision made them do is put in microtransactions for getting coins. And I mean, that's a sin, but it's not like the game's broken. And here's Rock Band, they have Harmonix backing them. Actually, Harmonix made the game. They've made, 15 other ones before it, but of course it's ruined. It's terrible, and I'm probably never going to play it again.
Harmonix resting on their laurels. Oh, we made some great games in the past. No need to work now.
I think Rock Band 4, they should have waited, to put it out. I think they were trying to put it out before Guitar Hero, just to sell more copies. So that was just the worst decision ever because the game wasn't finished. And then 2, I mean, they're trying to sell these updates and the multiplayer as new things like never been done before. Because in this email I got from them, they were like, new feature coming to Rock Band. I'm like, oh great, what can it be this time? And I read and it said multiplayer. And I was just stunned. I'm like, new feature? This is new? And I look at my game category, I look at all my games. I have Call of Duty, which has multiplayer, Far Cry multiplayer, Guitar Hero Live multiplayer, Star Wars Battlefront multiplayer, all these games this is nothing new. This is something that nothing's new here. What's new about this? That you guys are doing it? That's been done on other games?
It's just new to this version of the game, that's all. It's like, all right, well now we're just arguing semantics, so fuck off.
Oh boy.
Yeah, They must have borrowed their playbook from EA games and just said fuck it, because all of their little business practices just seem retarded. You're a company that specializes in music games. Actually, do something with the music. Don't have your in-house band re-record dumb shit. Don't fuck up on the multiplayer stuff. These seem like basic checklist items. How do you drop the ball this hard? Other than just not giving a shit.
It's all about getting the quick dollar while they can, and hoping that no one complains too much.
I'm sorry. It's all fucking stupid. It is. And now that you mentioned there was some crowdfunding stuff in there, I hate them even more. I am not a fan of crowdfunding. There are a lot of times where I feel like it's bullshit that I am prepaying for a game that might not be what I signed up for. There have been I don't remember half of the title names because most of them didn't come out, but there were a ton of games that I remember reading about that were crowdfunded, and what was promised wasn't what the game even remotely resembled by the time they finally canceled the project. Good luck getting your money back, by the way, if you did donate to one of those things, because it's not happening.
Yeah, they're just going to take it and run.
Pretty much. It's like a couple of years ago, I read about a Kickstarter fund thing to put together this giant Minecraft convention. Well, they raised $150,000, and oops, the guys disappeared with it.
Yeah. I mean, there is already a Minecraft con anyways. Why do they need another one?
It was another one. There's, come on. There's 16 million versions of everything out there. Nobody's creative anymore. Hey, let's make this game again. We already did last year. Oh, what if we change the color palette on the title screen? Brilliant! That's another $60 title. Done and done.
Boom. That saves us a lot of work.
It's no, we don't have to cancel our vacation in Maui. We'll be rolling in the dough. We only put in an hour's worth of time. Well, I should be realistic here, not an hour. 10 minutes. We just spitballed the color palette for the other 45. And 5 minutes worth of actual coding. So yes, as you can tell, we are not happy with Harmonix, because for a company that had some serious chops in the beginning to just kind of fall apart on what seems like lazy decisions doesn't sit well with us.
Nah.
It really is right up there with EA and the weird shit they do, where they make games that have no business having multiplayer centered around multiplayer, buying out studios. The gaming industry is not what it once was. It is not even remotely what it once was. I feel like most of the companies that get into game production now are doing it because they want a slice of that billion-dollar pie, not because they want to make something really cool and get people thinking or just make their jaws drop in awe as this is so fucking cool. None of them go for that anymore. There's 3 game studios that I have utmost respect for anymore, and they're the ones that are hardcore. They still make a game that's about the story, about the graphics, and about how well it performs. CD Projekt Red got you in my heart, boys. Any other gripes you'd like to add onto the pile?
I think I covered most of my major points.
Well, oddly enough, we are perfectly within the time frame for an episode, so I guess it's just time for plugs. Also, I'd like to add, if any of you listeners have any extra gripes you'd like to add, feel free to put them down in the comments there. We'd love to know how much you hate Harmonix too. So, Josh, why don't you tell our listeners about your channel?
My personal channel is Josh's Opinion, where I have a good amount of stuff. I do video game reviews and YouTube haikus and gaming videos, and I have a bunch of different series on there right now, and I try to put out as much content as I possibly can each week. So, check it out. Subscribe if you want to. I always try to update weekly, so here we go.
Excellent. There will be a link to Josh's channel in the description, so go check out his stuff. He's got a lot of great content on that. Also, if you liked what you heard here, go ahead and click the subscribe button to the Rant channel. We have other great things on there. We have our gameplay streams that have been recorded and saved for posterity. We actually do some cool stuff in there, so if you're stuck on something like, Bloodborne, check out our vids. We also have 5-minute game reviews and the Versus series that Josh puts together. He does a great job on it. He slams 2 game titles together and only one will come out alive. It's kind of like the Thunderdome, but for video games. And of course, don't forget to check our Twitter feed for new episode postings. That's @TheRantTW. I think that's about it for this evening. What do you think, Josh?
I think so.
Well then, thank you for listening and good night.